Amill joining us on Running Point as we're going to let him in here. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And Ty talked a little bit about Chaney and last season. Talk about some of the things that you saw from your team last year that maybe go past the win-loss record that make you really excited about what you have coming back this fall.
Just the way we competed week in and week out. Last year with COVID really hurt us. We couldn't be in the weight room for that entire year, the spring, the summer, anything. So we lost a year at the weight room, which for any program is big. We lost a week and a half of practice due to COVID testing, being on the safe side and those kind of things, and just still being able to go out and compete. Week one really didn't show who we were. And then from there on out, whether it was Fitch, Canfield, Howland, those games, we were in the lead at halftime. And I think just the weight room time and those things just kind of got to us because those teams just wore us down in the second half.
Looking at this season, Coach, we talked about last year the COVID issues and everything that brought up issues practicing. Talk about this year compared to last year and the practice schedules, how everything has gone in the off season and how much easier it's been this year compared to last year.
It's been a lot easier. We're fortunate with COVID that it kind of, I don't want to say passed, but we were able to get back to some normal routines, and the thing that's big for our program and our boys is just having that consistency, so setting that practice schedule, which has been the same since we started in June, and just being able to work. They know when they need to be here. Parents know when they need to be at practice. And guys have really worked hard. They worked hard in the weight room. The summer conditioning went great. We had 2 scrimmages that went pretty well. Little banged up, don't have the depth that we want. I'm excited about the season and the guys we have and what's the.
And we know from other sports, you guys have straight up athletes. I mean, talk about what kind of advantage it is to have athletes on the roster.
Just having the athletes that we have. I mean, it makes life easier. I mean, they're just able to do things that can't be coached. They're able to put them in positions that they may not normally play. We have guys being recruited for positions that they don't play, but they're just so athletic and gifted that they're able to just go out there, play football, and get it done. So that makes it intriguing at times and an advantage for us because we can kind of put different positions, that we may have matchup problems. If not, and sometimes it can be difficult. As a coach, you got to be able to pull in the rein, make sure you're not giving them too much and confusing them. I mean, it can be a blessing and a curse, but for us right now, it's truly a blessing to have the athletes we have to be able to do all the different things that we want to do.
What was the biggest thing to improve on from last year?
I think the biggest thing for us from last year to this year on the offensive side of the ball was going to be our line play. And with that, just being more consistent. We have a good offensive line. We're going to be young this year. We have 3 sophomores starting, but just being consistent. We played great for 2 quarters, and then for a quarter and a half, it just looked like we never played football before, or it might be an entire quarter. And it's just getting consistency. On a defense, all is just to continue to work and as a unit. We had some great players last year. Defense kept us in a lot of games. Struggled. Keep building on that. I think defensively, I hope we've seen that we're probably a little further ahead than we've been in the past, and hopefully that gets us over to week 1.
We looked at your schedule with our football previews, and it's a tough schedule that you guys have put together. Talk about the challenges ahead and how excited you are to face the teams that you do this year.
It's very exciting. For one, being at Mooney as long as I was, you really didn't get the local rivalries. When the Still Valley, when I played, you had Warren Hardwig and the Boardmans and the Fitches of the world that played. And then you kind of lose those guys when they join the federal league. But just all the different local teams, so for that is good because our guys know the kids that they're playing against. So you're back to the bragging rights, and you're back to having a little too much pride to go out there and get beat up on by whether it's relatives or friends or neighbors or whatever it is, guys you play pee wee football with. But it's a challenge. It's not something that you can weeks that you guys have. Something where 1 week you can be really up for a game, and the next week you can kind of be even keel and kind of just fight through a game. I mean, it's a gauntlet, and we're gonna have to be ready to perform week in and week out. I'm not caught up in the records and the new face. Everybody we play have proven legitimate programs, and that's what we're trying to build here. So until we get to that point where we have a program that's in place, and guys know what to do when they get here all the time. All the guys, it's going to be a challenge, playing the Ursulines, the Mooners, the Borbins, the Fitches, the Warren Hardings, Canfield. It's going to be a challenge, but we're ready for it.
You talk about your time at Mooney, and I know your playing time under Coach Butchie and how close of a relationship you two had when you were playing with Mooney, Coach. So I guess my question is there any aspects from Coach Butchie's style of coaching that you're utilizing and instilling in Chaney football?
Yeah. The big thing he taught was the fundamentals, the technique. Just learning how to do the little things, and trying to get our boys to understand that the little things are make football teams great. Not always the everybody sees the long touchdown runs or the passes, but it's just all the little things that happen during those plays that people don't realize. And and that was something that he always harped on. It was just technique, and he worked it, 4 hours a day, and the other thing I got from him and I use here is, he coached hard. He was going to be on you, he was going to hold you accountable, but he loved us harder, and look out for us, and he was going to take care of us. He get on your behind, but at the same time he's going to pat you on the back when you do what you're supposed to do. He's not just gonna beat you up when you're down and leave you there. So he was a coach that everybody wanted to play for, through a brick wall for him. And I'm just trying to same mentality here.
Talk about some of the leaders that you're going to lean on this year to lead this team throughout the season.
We have quite a few. Our captains this year are Jason Hewlett, who's a junior. Jason's just a tremendous athlete. I would put him up against anybody in the state right now, as far as being all around one of the best players in the entire state of Ohio. You have J.R. Tellington, who been playing. Since we started. He's been playing varsity since we've had varsity. He's a wrestler and a rugby player, and just hard nosed. And those two are probably our biggest vocal players. They're to get in your face and challenge you and verbally, holdable. Juwan Freeman is another one that is verbal, and his work ethic is unreal. Just to see him transform from last year and even the beginning of this year to where he is now, is a testament to him and how hard he's worked and just getting his mind right for everything. And then you have the silent leaders in Clive Wilson and Willis Williams, Javante, we call him Russell, Javant. But they're two guys that they just go out and work. They don't say much, but you just see the effort and you see what they do. And Russell, as we call him, he's a jack of all trades. He does a little bit of everything. Every position on the defensive line, he'll play some fullback, some tight end, split out as a receiver. Very unselfish, and those are the guys that our team has been looking up to.
Preview this week 1 matchup with the Falcons for me, because I know I'm excited about it. I love both of these programs so much, and I'm close with both of these programs. So preview the matchup a little bit for me and talk to me, give me your thoughts on the old week 1 matchup with Fitch being back.
I think it's good for the area, for the community. Youngstown is a big football city. Collar, hard-nosed, hard-working people, and I think with these two programs, As far as what Fitch does this year, we're not very familiar. There's no film exchange, and I guess that's a personal thing on their end, which we're fine with. So we watched film last year, and we're ready and preparing to do what we do. And it's just going to be fun. They got quite a few guys from the city of Youngstown, guys that some of our boys went to school with, at junior high, elementary school, played football with, until last year in junior high before they go to Youngstown. So just that rivalry and that those feelings and just kind of wanting to beat your friends and all that stuff. I mean, it's great to have it back.
Talk a little bit about your coaching staff. We know head coaches get all the limelight, get all the interviews, obviously, but they wouldn't be anywhere without their staff and the people that support them. So talk about the coaches you have under you and how much they bring to the program.
Yeah, I mean, our coaches mean everything to the program. One thing I tell our coaches and I tell our boys all the time is there's one person bigger in this program, and that's including myself. On the offensive side of the ball, you have Matt Garcher, who coached for a couple years, took a year off and came back, and is coaching quarterbacks and really has Jason ready to play. We have Seth Ladd, who had no John, and then Jason, stepped in for him, and then this being Jason's first full year of getting all of his reps and drills and individual quarterback has really helped, and the coach has done that. Tyler Thompson is a Chaney grad. He's coaching our receivers. We have some good weapons on the outside. So that's going to be offensive line. Rogers. Tyrell played for me at Mooney. This is his third year coach. He's a freshman coach. Excuse me. Running back coach is Carrington Griffin. Carrington was well over 1,000-yard rusher when I coached at Mooney. He was on that 09 team with Braylon Hurd and all those guys, and he was just a tremendous athlete that just couldn't wait to get back into coaching. And I've been trying to get him for a couple years, and just his schedule wouldn't allow it, but it finally did. So we were lucky to get him. On the defense side of the ball, you have Chuck Harris, who's doing the defensive ends and has done a tremendous job. When you see, the offers that Clive Wilson has, the offers that J.R. Tellington has, and guys came in raw. Clive didn't play football until 10th grade. So to see the growth in those two guys is a testament to Chuck. Brandon Dotson is our D tackles coach, and when you're in the trench, you got to be a tough guy, and he always has our guys ready to go and ready to play. Our linebackers are Justin and Jason Hewlett, and they're just both great coaches, getting guys ready. We're linebacker position, but they've really coached hard and got these reps and ready to play. And then in the secondary, you have John Kopp, who this is his first year of coaching. He's another one that played for me at Mooney, but his dad has been a head coach at Fitch, and he coached me at Mooney when I played. So it's in his bloodline to be a coach. So we have those guys are ready to go, and they got our guys ready.
Talk to me a little bit too, Coach, about the community involvement with the program and how heavily they've been involved, and how much it means to the West Side to have the Chaney football program be back and prevalent again.
Yeah, old school. I'm the kind of guy where I believe it takes a village to be there for kids, and we've been very fortunate. Whether it's been families from Mooney, whether I'm not from Chaney like Brad Smith, or just family members that have really been involved. Brad was here all of June, and he came to practice every day of June. He worked with Jason as well at quarterback. He will run some routes, a little bit of running here and there, but just to have him here and have that presence, as a coach, as an alumni, and guys can see that NFL player and know that, he came from the same streets that they grew up in, growing up in, and he went to the same high school that they're in now. Is really that community involvement has really helped. even just little things like being able to eat every day after practice, and that was, Maurice Claret, just kind of back to the community, giving back to the city, and he always says he wouldn't have what he has without the city of Youngstown. So any chance he can give back, he will, and he provided us with a caterer who catered meals every day after practice during 2 days, Monday through Saturday, for these guys to eat. So I mean that's been great, and then we have teachers and guidance counselors and school counselors, parents. Everybody just kind of pitches in and helps, and you just start to see when we go out to different places. Actually, the Palms Cafe, Dubik's is a well-known place on the West Side establishment. And you get a lot of former alumni and just West Siders, and you go down there, and that's all they talk about is just Chaney football being back and the things that we're doing, and and everything that the Browns have done for us. Even this year with going up to utility, we're one of a handful of schools that were invited to come up and get stuff that we may need for practice. So we got spikes and practice pants and practice jerseys and everything. Tennis shoes and winter clothes and T-shirts, just things that we can pass out to our boys, and kind of. I don't want to say be their little team, but they've really been looking out for us for the past few years, and it's been great.
When you talk about game days coming back tomorrow, what's your game day routine? What kind of things do you go through on game day yourself?
A lot of nerves. One thing I do not do is sleep. I've been like this since I played Pee Wee football. I sleep well at night. I get 5 in the morning, just get out of bed at 5 in the morning, and just kind of pace and walk around, and then from there, it's a little different here. I've all the equipment managers and things like myself and other coaches. We come and we just kind of get things ready for the game. The uniforms and making sure we need game balls and towels and headsets and cameras, and just kind of get all that stuff ready, and then we have a team meal together, and then we're just rolling right into everything with team meetings and walkthroughs and special team meetings, and then head for the game. But for me, no same routine besides the fact that I can't sleep, and I just kind of walk around. I usually don't eat, nervous throughout the day, and after the game is over, then it's kind of, get ready for films and next week.
Coach, my final question for you too. I know there's a lot of big matchups in the area week 1. There's Canfield, Poland, there's South Range and Springfield. But I've been pushing Fitch and Chaney for quite some time. I know I'll be there Friday night, but tell all of our viewers why this is going to be the place to be to see Chaney Fitch Friday night.
I think it's the place to be because like I said, the rivalry, is back. You have 2 story programs that's been around. You have the history and the tradition of both schools. You have a that has been played for many years, and then Chaney lead, and they sports, in 2010, and now you're looking at 11 years later. You have the programs up and running again, and you're just gonna have good athletes on both sides of the ball. Staffs on field. I'm hoping we have a jam-packed house, but it's different. It's different when you play football, in Youngstown. I'm not taking away from, the South Range, Springfields, or anything like that. When I was in school, the Still Valley, and it was the City Series, and those were the games. While you would catch a Mooney Camel game that Sean Patton played, and so these kind of games, have meant a lot to communities, and to have it back, right now, just with COVID finally ending, and just with some of the tough times going on in Youngstown, I think this is something a lot of people in our city are looking forward to. A lot of people in our city are supporting us and backing us. And I think this is a win that's needed for our city.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Good luck tomorrow night, and we will talk to you again real soon.